Serena, and I'm here today with Kristen. And Kristen is a new friend of mine, and we have found out we have a lot in common because we both work with magic in our lives. And so when Kristen came to visit with me a few weeks ago, we kind of found out that we have this bond in how we approach life and just looking at all the magic that we're able to create consciously and also not so consciously. That everything around us is energy and consciousness, and there's little tricks to the trade, right, that we can use to create magic.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about maybe your journey and how you use magic in your everyday moments.
So I've traveled, done many things in this lifetime, worked in special education, worked with music, right now dancing. Since really taking a leap to follow my true passion and follow my heart, I've just been watching what seems magical or not logical at all. Like if you could map out or plan everything that's going to happen to a T, this just breaks the mold of anything that the brain could come up with. So in that definition, to me, is what is magic. Watching it play out in everyday life is just inspiring, and I'm hoping that my stories can help other people. For example, we just had a trip back from Florida where our ambulance broke down, and we instead of getting really frustrated and like letting it destroy the whole trip or ruin our attitudes toward each other in the situation, we just allowed the situation to be and watched the magical events just start playing out in a way that got us home safe, sound, actually got us to go back to Florida a week later, got me to get into the ocean, play on the beach, be that little kid, nature spirit, free soul that I am. And new little synchronicities started to play out. We got to listen to a book, and then that had deeper meanings, and then I was watching those things play out in my daily life back here. So in all those ways, without the ambulance breaking down, without having to go back to drive it home again the following week, my life wouldn't be as fulfilling as it is sitting here talking to you right now. So it's a very broad, general kind of topic. It's personal for each person, but I find through the specific stories and events of how it actually plays out, and you can watch it, then that's how you can feel that magic come through.
I love it. And I love that you use the word synchronicity because I'm a big believer in that everything that happens to us happens for the divine good.
Right.
And it's all in how we react to everything that's presented to us. And we also have to remember that we orchestrated this before we got here.
Correct.
We wanted to learn these things.
Yeah, and we're still orchestrating it as we're here. And I think that's forgotten a lot. We are the creators of our own reality. Each conscious moment, you have that choice to continue creating in whatever way you want. So like you said, whatever situation comes up in that moment, it may not feel like you have a choice. Like the ambulance breaking down, this is really bad. The dogs don't have AC. We're planning to be coaching for the next 3 days, and we have to drive back. Like what? There's a choice there to be overwhelmed, frustrated, bombarded, angry,
or all of the
above, and then upset at yourself or shameful, guilty. For me, I find it's harder to be angry and allow myself to be angry. So yeah, feeling those shames and stuff, or allowing that to happen and then seeing that, taking a breath, realizing there is still a choice here. It's still at my energy working for me. Am I going to be frustrated at my own energy trying to help me, or am I going to say, it may not be how I thought it was going to look, and this is definitely not how my humanness would say, yes, get me to the beach, put me in the ocean. I wanted to have the dogs. My humanness wanted a certain picture, but then my overall God, creator, conscious self has a broader view and knowingness of what was really fulfilling for the soul at that level.
Oh, I love that.
Trusting that to such a deep core that then that magic really starts popping and flaming, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's break it down a little bit for the folks that are watching. So a lot of people, the second one bad thing, what they consider bad, happens to them,
Mm-hmm.
they start getting into the pity party, the woe is me,
Mm-hmm.
and then we find that once we're there, it gets worse.
Well, when you're a victim, yeah, everything else, I mean, you're a victim, so in that mentality, it's just that sinking hole, and you can find anything and everything to support that victim mentality or feeling, and to invalidate it, or not to embrace that part of yourself because it is a true feeling. Just it makes that feeling even more intense. So trying to fight it or run away from it is only going to make it more of that. But to sit, feel it, okay, but realize at the same time you're really not the victim.
Right.
You have that power. You are the creator. How are you going to choose to create from here?
Oh, I love that.
Then the victimness goes away. You can't be in your own pity party when you realize, man, I'm creating all this.
Absolutely. And you're feeding it when you're down having that pity party.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's give them, the viewers, a few things to think about then. So let's walk them through maybe 2 or 3 things that you might do. So you've had this bad event happen, or what we consider bad, even though it was for your highest good.
Yeah.
Okay. So the average person out there, they have one thing that happens.
Right.
So I think what you're saying is, yes, you have to sit with the emotion of it for a second. You have to feel it. You have to be present with it. And then you have to make a conscious choice. So that, I think, is where mindset comes in.
Yeah, I would say.
So changing your mind about what's just happened.
Changing your perspective, your view. I think, so when we get into the mind, we can get lost in the thoughts and the doubt, and it's very mental. And once you sit in that quiet space with your existence and self and then get into the mind, you can really feel the difference.
Right.
So when you are in those when I'm in those intense emotional states, what's best for me is to just get quiet and be right here and just sense everything and just trust that everything is exactly as it's meant to be in this exact moment. As I do that, the feelings come in, the victimness, I was going through it even yesterday, the lack of self-worth, the 2 days before. It's all, I'm saying this, but I still have these moments.
Sure.
So sit with it, allow it.
Breathe it in,
hug it, accept it. It's there for a reason. And then
you have to make the shift, right?
You breathe, yeah. And then it kind of just fizzles out. It's not so deep. It's not so painful. There's wisdom in it. There's insight. Oh, I didn't realize that. Or it just kind of eases up, and then you'll get to see, oh, I needed to feel frustrated because I needed to see what that looked like with this person, or I needed to know what works for me. It's different for every situation, but you'll see the wisdom in it if you allow and sit with it and be with yourself and be okay feeling all those emotions. It may take weeks at first, and then it'll get shorter, I promise. But sitting with that emotion, breathing with it, allowing it to be. I think vocalizing it to another is very hard, but I found doing that has really helped it not go away, but diffuse or come to wisdom faster for me.
Right.
Transmute, I would say, from the heavy dark to the, okay. All right.
And I love that sharing with somebody would help, because what I found out with my own personal clients is they'll come in and they want to tell the story over and over and over, and that's when they're really in more of the victim mentality, or they play martyr, or they'll get into this game playing. Yeah. And one of my friends who I love dearly, she will say to somebody who tells their story over and over, she'll say, well, how's all that working for you? Yeah. Because you can't continue on that path. Yeah. But I think it is important to be able to verbalize, and you can feel it, but then it's important to also let that go. Correct. And that's the big piece there.
And that's where you said that conscious choice again. Yeah. And that's where that comes into play. Okay. Do I want to continue to let this make me feel like this all day? Right. Do I want this feeling? I know where it's coming from. I have the wisdom. Right. Now how do I want to continue on and create on? And so from there,
I love it. Yeah. And so this information from this wonderful lady whose ambulance broke down on her trip to Florida, but yet she's sitting here smiling, sharing her story about what she learned from it. So, Kristen, thank you for being here today. I love visiting with you. You have so much wisdom, and I know that you have a lot of cool things to share with us in the future.
Yes, thank you so much.